He retreated like you instructed and made his way to a healer. He's fine. Did anyone else get hurt? Darkspeed stood and slowly walked over to his costume. We've had some supers banged up, but they've been cleaned up. Civilian casualties have been kept to a minimum. In a blink, Darkspeed was wearing his costume and his hospital gown was folded on the bed. Darkspeed became visible to Bioforce as he was checking his forearm weapons. Cosmos filled my grenade launcher back up, and my system is at full power, Darkspeed said. The little guy does good work, Bioforce said. Darkspeed scoffed and said, 4 years ago, I was the same size as he is now, maybe skinnier. I know, I just like calling him that. You should see what he did to our floor. What do you mean our floor? The bomb devastated the upper portion of the building. Arthur said this place was hardened against attacks. I bet he didn't think it'd be attacked from inside. So, Cosmos rebuilt the building? And one of the extra floors he added is for young alphas like us, Bioforce said as she led him down the hall. Darkspeed looked at the new walls. Large one-piece marble slabs made up the halls and granite slabs made up the floors. The ceiling looked normal, but Darkspeed knew Cosmos didn't make normal things. He trailed behind Bioforce as she kept walking fast. How much does this stuff weigh? Darkspeed asked. I don't think it matters. Cosmos was talking about sub-basements and extended pilings. Then he made the whole exterior out of a meter of super steel. He said he made the building strong enough to survive super combat. He's in the command center helping install the last of the computers. I feel like I need to just run around at super speed and rememorize the place. See Omni first. He was waiting for you to wake up, Bioforce said as she opened the elevator. The elevator opened to reveal a pavilion like the one that was in the Alpha dorm. This one had a lower ceiling and was a bit smaller, but with the same feel. Darkspeed looked around to see most of the alphas from school. Most were sitting around talking, some eating, and some sleeping on couches. On the sides of the room, Darkspeed saw the entrance to a lab, several conference rooms, labeled Ready Rooms, and State Rooms. The State Rooms were labeled 1 through 16. Half had pink doors and half had blue doors. She was the first to jump to her feet when he came in. We've decided to start calling you Dark Kamikaze Speed. Since you decided to take on Vector alone, you need a name that means suicide. The others ran over to see him as Darkspeed said, I wasn't alone. I had Ion as my backup, and an army of alphas that would find their way back. Yeah, and dig you out of the mess, Olympian said. Alphas from all around patted Darkspeed on the back and told him how brave he was. The crowd of Darkspeed's peers now saw him as their de facto leader. He was one of them, but was able to hold his own against the worst of the worst. Did you dig me out? Darkspeed finally asked Olympian. Squirt saved your butt, pulled you out, and got you to Bioforce. He's a good anchor. I never doubted him for a minute, Olympian said with a big smile. This has been nice, but I need to find Omni, Darkspeed said as he backed out of the crowd. He's in the lab with the brains, she said. Darkspeed raced through the new London HQ and made mental notes of where things were located. In the new and larger command center, he saw Cosmos standing next to the Miss Waldrons. Glimmer was looking in his direction as he moved at high speed through the room. Darkspeed knew he was moving too fast for her to see. She must have sensed him coming with her precognition. If she had sensed Vector or danger, she would have warned Cosmos. Darkspeed stopped outside of the main lab area that Prism used. He let his speed fall away, and he was moving normally when he knocked on the door. Come on in, Virtuoso thought to Darkspeed. I'm looking for Omni, Darkspeed said as he entered the room. I'm here, Omni said from the far side of the room. Wow, the lab got quite the upgrade, Darkspeed said as he looked around. I'm glad to see you up. Did the plan work? I think so, Omni continued. The nanotrackers you contaminated Vector with when you fought him are working. Prism scanners also picked up how his red harness is working over long distance. Then we know where he is? Darkspeed said with hope. Not yet, Omni said. It's taking us a while to pinpoint the location, Prism said. But we're pretty sure it's in North Africa. Desert, just like Alpha, Darkspeed said. Or underground. We're having a hard time getting an exact location because he has scramblers all around the bases. It makes the signal echo hundreds of miles from the true location, Virtuoso said. What are we waiting for? Let's go take a look for him. We can't do it like that. Vector will jump like a jackrabbit to his next base, IQ said as he walked into view. IQ, good to see you, Darkspeed said with real happiness. IQ had a big childlike smile on his face. It's awesome to be seen. Omni kept IQ from distracting himself. IQ is working on a red harness interference signal. If we rush Vector, we don't want him to have an escape plan. That's where my big brain comes in, IQ said as he returned to work. How long do you think all of this will take to accomplish? Darkspeed asked. They're giving me a time estimate of 8 to 10 hours. If that's right, that means we go to war tomorrow, Omni said. That sounds great. I can't wait to get another shot at him. If we do it my way, Vector won't see us coming, Omni said. Destroy everything from above? Like the wrath of God, Omni said firmly. Omni heard Miss Waldron's voice in his earpiece. Achilles is here to see you. I'll be right there, Omni said back into his earpiece. I have to go. Darkspeed, everyone who isn't working on this is to get some sleep. We don't know what tomorrow may bring. What if they're not tired? Darkspeed asked. A good alpha eats and sleeps when they get the chance, Omni said as he left the room. Achilles waited for Omni in one of the rooms adjoining the command center. Omni walked in with a stack of files under his arm. Omni, Achilles said as he stood. It's an honor to... Time is short. You've been bumped to alpha status. I'm giving you the Los Angeles Hall. I hate to say no, but... Achilles tried to say. Then don't say no. I know you want to be close to your parents and family, especially now after what happened over the last few days. But plain and simple, you're the best qualified I have. The HU needs you to step up and take over a major hall. It's not a glory assignment, it's work. Are you in or out? Achilles thought and finally said, What about the Athens Hall? I can get another beta to run that hall. It's not a hot spot. Then I guess I'm in, Achilles said. Guessing doesn't make me feel good about this, Omni said with a stare. I'm definitely in. I will give it my best. That's what I want to hear. Look through these files, Omni said as he handed Achilles a stack of papers and folders. What are these? Profiles of alphas that are underutilized, betas that should have been alphas, and powerful supers that never went to an academy. You have to the end of the day to tell me who to call in as your new team. Today? Yes, and keep in mind their ages. All of them are young like you or younger. They didn't spend 6 years learning to trust your judgment. Omni started to leave the room. Heaven help you if you don't show strong leadership from the word go. Achilles started to browse through the files and sorted them into the 5 positions he would need on his team. Then he ranked them by power level. He started reading each file for something that popped out at him, like raised in an HU hall or trained from a young age. Achilles knew that the chemistry of the personalities on his team was important. He had no idea how to do that from the papers in front of him. After some grumblings, Darkspeed was able to get everyone to take some downtime. In one of the staterooms with a blue door taken by first team, Darkspeed saw 4 beds and a common bathroom. Slowly, he moved across the floor to one of the open beds. It's not exactly our old dorm, huh? Olympian asked. No, but then the Coalition destroyed our dorms, Darkspeed said. There's one thing I know, Cosmos said. It's that all buildings can be rebuilt. If I would have known you were both awake, I wouldn't have been so quiet coming in, Darkspeed said at a normal voice. The only reason I'm laying down is because Jilly said we may have action tomorrow, Olympian said. What did she tell you? Just that, maybe action tomorrow. Be rested. Vector inspected the 4 squads of 8 he was about to send out. They all remained silent as Vector looked them over. He stopped and stood in front of the head Centurion. The game has changed. The stakes are higher than originally anticipated. I'll be leading the mission myself, Vector said. Have I done something wrong, sir? The head Centurion asked. If you had, you'd be dead. The mission has just become more important. Vector raised his voice slightly and continued. I expect nothing less than perfection. Follow my lead and all the hostages should be in our possession within the hour. Vector turned and nodded to his techs, who promptly began work on the consoles in front of them. On the wall of the large room they were in, a portal began to come to life. Once they could see clearly out the other side, the squads readied themselves and waited for Vector's signal. Vector gave the signal and blinked through the portal, and the villains poured through after him. Vector's techs worked quickly to make sure there would be no errors or mistakes between portal openings. With him leading the mission, they knew they would have to be much faster, and any mistake meant harsh punishment. On the other side of the portal, Vector's villains did as they were ordered. They efficiently killed the few security guards and teachers that were watching over the campus. The children were then rounded up by Vector himself in the blink of an eye. Most of the 32 villains with Vector found themselves just as a precautionary measure. Vector was making the mission go so fast there was no way for any Alpha team to have time to engage them. Open the next one, Vector said.